Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again thank you for stopping by. So in this video it's part 3 of the Tamiya Rough Rider, now known as the Racing Buggy. It's always a Rough Rider though, isn't it? So if you didn't see the full chassis build, then I'll put a link in the description. We did it over one video and it was extremely enjoyable. My first full build of an SRB chassis, and as I say, really enjoyed it. But this video is about the bodywork, and it's quite an involved one. Obviously it's a hard shell. There's spotlights, driver, there's a roof to do, and they're all different colours. So it's going to be pretty involved. So as I said in the very first video, the box art here is TS12. It looks a red, but it's actually an orange. But this car's kind of got two box arts, as you can't see it, but on the side of the box it's also done in blue, which is TS blue, which is Sand Rover blue, and I really like it in that colour. So obviously that's what I'm going for. So the good news is on the Riri that the shell is all one colour, whereas the original, the white that goes on it, there was some paint involved as well. So this is a little bit more straightforward. So as I say, it's going to be TS blue. It's got 4 sets of two pairs of spotlights on front and back, which have yellow fronts and black backs. So that's got to be done. There's a driver section that I'll show you in a minute, and there's a roof section. Now that roof section's a little bit tricky because the top of it has to be to match the car, and then the roof struts are in silver. So there's going to be a fair bit of masking involved. And then that brings us on to the driver. So I want to do the driver's helmet and body in PS16, which is a Vanti blue, metallic blue. I think it's a dull blue on the box art, but I think this will pop better. So that'll be his helmet and his suit. And then I'm going to do his seat belts in red and his gloves in red and on a black base. And then obviously his helmet's going to be blue, but we'll do the black ring around it, possibly the bottom ring around it as well in black, and then obviously a flesh face. And I think that'll look pretty cool, to be honest. You never quite know until it's done. But yeah, I'm thinking that's going to look pretty cool. So what we'll do now is I'll get all the kit together in front so you can see everything we've got to do before we start the process. So that's all the bits out that we need. Now, obviously the full main shell is TS10, so quite straightforward. This roof section here has got to be in TS10 too. So that means we're going to have to mask the roof struts because that's going to be PS12 silver. But obviously that's going to take a bit of time, so we'll do the blue roof first and mask that off. When I come to the PS12 silver to do the struts, obviously we'll have to mask the blue off and then spray the silver. I'm going to do that dash panel in silver, and then we'll do the circles in black. So that's those two paints. Then we have the 4 spotlights, as I said, that's going to be in black PS5. Then we have the 4 spotlight covers, which is going to be in PS6 yellow. While I've got the black out, I've just left the steering wheel on the tree, and I'll blast that over in black as well, and then that's done. And then that only leaves the driver figure, of which I said I'm going to try PS16. So we're going to have to mask around the driver, his body, his gloves. That's pretty much it, and then we'll blast that over in PS16. Helmet I'll build up, and then we'll mask around the rim, and again that's PS16. And that's my different 3 sizes of masking tape I use. I only use Tamiya masking tape as well, some modelling scissors and a sharp craft knife. So I think that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to concentrate on first is the main shell and the roof. So I'm going to get this section masked off, and then we'll go and start to spray the TS10, and then when that's drying, because it'll take a fair few coats, we can mess around. In fact, the spotlights is low hanging fruit as well, because that's quite easy. So I'll tell a lie, I'm going to do it totally different. I'm going to do the spotlight front and backs first. Steering wheel, so I'll use the black and yellow up, and then that's that section finished. While that's drying, we'll mask that roof off, and then when that's ready, we'll spray TS10. So I'll show you it in sections anyway. But first up now, I'll take these down and get these sprayed with these colours. Right guys, so the spotlights and the front and back spotlights and what else is it, and the dashboard have been painted, so they're just drying. So while I was waiting for that, I've just done the basic masking. So first up is just cover the driver's face. Tamiya masking tape's awesome. You can just go over where you want, get your nail into the groove, get a sharp craft knife, and then just peel it off, and it gives you nice sharp lines. Now obviously the helmet's going to be blue, but I'm going to go over the rim in black, so I will be able to make it sharper. I've just gone over the driver, as I say, he's covered his hands as well, but again, with a little bit of blue that goes down here, I'll finish it and get it sharp with black at the end. And then obviously the roof, so mast weather struts are going to be silver, and it's this bit that has to be the TS10 blue on the inside as well, so that just wants a blast over. So that's where we are right now. It's time to warm the TS paint up, give it a really good shake, warm the body shell up, clean it off, and just start putting some thin coats on. Can't afford any runs with this one, so this has got to be very lightly done. So let's get cracking. Right, so back spotlights done in black, fronts of them done in yellow, and obviously got to let them dry properly, but that's what we're going to look like, which is pretty cool. Oops. So that's that done. Steering wheel done, as I say, I just left on the tree in black. And then I did the dashboard in silver, and I just went over it with a fine tip black pen, just on the dials. Not too sure which way around it goes. Yeah, it'll be that way, won't it? That looks pretty cool. Just as a little bit of detail. So we're just waiting for the driver to dry. We've gone 2 coats on the TS10, but I'm not a lover of painting hard shells. There's so much more you can do to these things, primer and stuff like that, but I tend to just go with a can of paint, but just doing it very gradually. So there's a few blemishes in it so far, but nothing massive, but fingers crossed as I start adding coats to it, that'll get less and less, fingers crossed. Okay, so a little bit of progress. So you glue a nut into, can't really see it because it's painted. Anyway, you glue a nut on the inside, and then you glue the yellow covers to the black. So I've done that on all 4, and the spotlights look great, to be fair. Steering wheel's cut out. Driver I've just give its final coat, and the next thing I'm going to do with this is the red gloves, red seat belts, and then everything else will go black. Roof, I've just taken the masking off, so that's got a nice finish to it. And then obviously, as I say, I've taken the masking off, so what I need to do now is mask again where the blue is, so I can spray all this roof strut silver. So I'll get cracking with that now. Right, so latest update. So as I said, I masked all the blue off, and now that's silver. So fingers crossed I've got the masking sharp enough, but that's got to just harden now for quite a while. You've seen those, so the helmet's now blown over to sort of fill the gaps of the joint. That's gonna go like that. Anyway, I'm not gonna, because this paint's not hard, but you get the gist of it. So I'm gonna leave that masking on his face for now. I'm just gonna give all this some couple of hours now, and then I can show my hands are clean. This is the body shell. Looks pretty good. I've not really found anything that I'm really unhappy with. There are some blemishes, but I think I'd have to point them out to you, and I'm not gonna do that. So what I did was obviously give it a final blast over on the inside so I can catch the edges and what have you. I've not gone too thick because the paint was running out. but it just keeps it the same colour. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with that. So as I say, it's just now, let's leave it a couple of hours and then we'll come back to it. Right, a little bit of work on the driver. So obviously I've done his flesh colour, putting some eyes in, black rim. I'm going to leave that like that. And then the body, I've got to do with black again. That's just the first coat. I'm happy with the gloves, they're nice and bright, but I need a second coat for the seat belts to brighten them up. And then once all that painting's finished, then I'll go and put the detail black right hard up to it. But I think it's looking pretty good, to be honest. That doesn't look bad at all, does it? So it'll be better with the red seat belts anyway. So yeah, that's it for now. Right, so that's pretty much the paint done. That's the driver finished. It looks pretty cool. Now, obviously I can't really show you this. That's pretty much how he's going to sit. But it's one of those things where it all needs to come together. The roof section, again, slides under there. That's what the roof's going to look like. So that's turned out pretty good. But what I could do is put it on the car. Just want to be careful now and make sure that I don't scratch anything while we're messing around. So obviously I'm not going to go any further with it now. Can we get that on? Just put that up there, tuck that down. So it's going to go like that. Oops. So you get the gist of it, what it's going to look like. So it's going to look pretty damn cool, to be honest. But as I say, now it's definitely leaving all this overnight. But it's all, I'll just move it down, it's all painted, as you can see. So that's basically the hard work done. So I'll leave it overnight. I think all I've got to do after that is, I don't know whether I'll decal it when it's lighting like it is now, or if I'll build it all up, screw the roof. No, I'll have to put the roof on. Actually, that's a silly thing to say. That'll get bolted down. And because I've done that, the driver will have to be, oh dear, see, this is what happens when you mess around. The driver, I believe, just gets super glued down. So does the his instrument panel. That's looking pretty cool. So front spots bolt down onto the front, so I can do that. But obviously I'll decal them first, and then the top spots go on this roof. So again, I'll decal, no I won't, I'll fit the spots first so I get them dead straight. So I'm babbling on a little bit. I've got to leave this alone now and let it harden, and then we'll come back to it tomorrow. Right, I've got all the bodywork finished and bolted down. So it goes on a spring unit on the back, if you've never seen one. It clips onto the roll bar and you just flick it up. 2 bolts down, which don't look great. So the body's on, there's a pin to put on the front, but I've not bothered with that yet. The driver unit looks pretty good. I'm liking it. Looking pretty cool. The dials are in, but you're probably not going to be able to see that. The clocks, you can just see them. And obviously the spotlight's bolted down top, and then they bolt onto the chassis at the front. So it's pretty much there. Now it's funny because it looks pants at the moment. It's, I mean, most Tamiyas do when it comes before decals, but this one looks a tank. It just doesn't look very good at all, but these decals are going to absolutely transform it. So there's all these to go on. So obviously you've got these big side ones which cover all this and all the way down the front, and then you've got these big RMR 10s which go down here. So it really does fill it up and get some decals on your spotlights and what have you. So that's the next stage. So we need to get cracking. But yeah, starting to take shape now. Right guys, she's done, and didn't I tell you those decals make all the difference. This is one of the only Tamiyas that I thought looked absolutely horrendous with just a paint on. But as you can see, those decals now, it's just that white that it just absolutely takes it to the next level. So a couple of things I'm not overly happy with. I've got a crease here which I'm going to have to get the hairdryer on. These two decals either side these stripes are just starting to lift on the corners, so I need to get some heat into those. But I like to leave them 24 hours after I've done them just to see what's what basically. I've put some extra lighting on, so try to make that driver figure pop. But I think that looks pretty cool, to be honest. That's a better angle of it. So let's just whiz it on the car. Right, look at that guys. Look at it! That is super sweet, isn't it? I know it's a rarity, but when I look at that, it's just pure vintage from back in the day. And don't forget, this design's from 1979, which is incredible. And there's so much love for this chassis. I know I keep saying it, but I can't allow the wheels to sit as they're supposed to. I don't know why, I just can't do it. But that looks super sweet, doesn't it? Look at that. And spotlights are absolutely immense. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Oops. That is one seriously good looking iconic Tamiya buggy. God. Yeah. As I said from the start, it's not one of my favourites, but when you see it in the flesh, when it's finished, it's pretty epic, to be honest. A couple of things that I did wrong, which I'm a little bit gutted about. The spotlight covers glue together, and you just glue a small nut in all four of them, and the super glue I was using, the nib was terrible. It's completely my own fault, and I put too much super glue in. I didn't realise at the time, and what the super glue had rolled into the threads and the nuts. Obviously I didn't know this, as I say, at the time. So when I came to screw the actual official Tamiya screws into there, it wouldn't go in the thread. So that was a real disaster. So I had to mess around for a while trying to get the threads sorted out, but unfortunately I couldn't do it. The super glue's solid. So the problem is, if I forced a big screw, it would turn the locking, well, it's not locking nut, but it would turn the nut inside the plastic and destroy those spotlights. So I dug out some smaller screws and sort of self-tapped them into the super glue, and they're absolutely solid. There's no issue with them. So I've dodged a bullet on that one. And the second error I made, I should have fitted these decals without the roof on. Again, my own fault, didn't follow the instructions, and because I didn't do that, it meant that I covered, because I did fit it, it meant that I'd covered the screws, and what I should have done really was I should have done it the opposite way around. So I've put I used a reamer to put two little holes in the decal so you can get to the screws, because I needed to tighten them up. That was the whole issue. If I'd have tightened them up, I could have just left the decal over. But I had to put two little holes in, tighten them up, and then I just had to go over with these little Tamiya decals, which are actually helmet decals. But to be fair, I think if I hadn't have pointed it out, you probably wouldn't have noticed. So yeah, that was a little bit of an issue I had. But apart from that, I think that was pretty much it. And she's done. What do you think, guys? First of all, in the comments, do you think I went for the correct colour, or would you have preferred to see it in TS12? The orange or red? I personally think I made the right choice. I think that's a very, very cool looking buggy. I've got to say, what an absolute pleasure it was from start to finish, building the SRB chassis and then finishing the body. It's another tick off one of the bucket list jobs that I've always wanted to do, and we've finally done it. I can't fault it at all. Obviously, if it's going to be your very first Tamiya kit, then, and you're quite new to it, it's a little bit more involved than like a grasshopper kit. But yeah, I think if you're a collector, or you just we're fortunate to be born in the golden era of RC, like the majority of people who watch this channel, then it's a bit of a must to have one of these. So please, 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 Tamiya, do the Ford Ranger. People are crying out for it. I know I am. Anyway, as I say, apart from a couple of little issues that, in fact, the hairdryer is going to sort most of that out. The screws, the little bodge that I've done on the spotlights, it's fine. It's a tiny little bit of touch up on the driver to use the PS16 to get that sort of. I've missed a few areas that I didn't know, or maybe taking some paint off because I didn't let it harden properly. But all in all, absolutely made up with it. So I'll end this video here. So once again, guys, thanks for watching. It's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please like, share, comment, and maybe consider subscribing to us. And if you do that, please smash that notification bell so you're notified of our weekly videos. And as always, guys, the most important thing about this whole hobby is happy RCing.